Let's start with that, ladies
We've
and
already
gentlemen.
started.
Yeah, creative expression. The latest
I feel like I'm
episode.
already on the most ultimate Mark Maron podcast because this is what he does. He just gets a guest and it's rolling, and the guest doesn't know it's rolling.
Yeah.
And he just
it.
plays the unedited clip.
We have the
Yeah.
wave now.
so
let's
Mark
catch
and
it.
Marin. Is that what we have?
On
We'll
days we
stick
have.
to Noel and Gaurav only because I can afford to have two identities.
And if I do come up with a good joke, I don't want the credit of it to go to Mark Maron.
Mark Maron is a great resurrection story.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
so
You
true.
know, मतलब कहाँ से
Yes.
कुछ
And
नहीं
it is
था.
his podcast that
Yeah,
gave
yeah,
him
yeah.
his second
That did.
life because he's just again, like Neil Brennan said this on his podcast, that Mark, you're a really, really good interviewer. You have made people say things that they couldn't believe they said to you, but it's just your personality that brought it out.
Yeah.
And it is the podcast that started getting him footfalls for his show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From
And
where to
With,
where?
like, he used to say like he and his roommate, and he got his roommate in because like, dude, तू भी काम नहीं कर रहा है, चल साथ में करते हैं. And they would like send merch and whatnot, and he was doing everything from the imagine a 35-year-old, 37, 40-year-old I think at that point of time.
Coke addict out of it again.
Yeah, that
just
also.
Wired, angry, irritated.
Very angry.
Wasn't the story he did coke with Kinnison?
Yeah.
And then for 3-4 years he was hearing voices in his head.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah, a comedy store green room when Kinnison used to be there. But what you were saying and Mark Maron's rise to the idea of success, and fame, and at least people acknowledging his work, by buying tickets, things of that nature. You realize that we are expecting what rock climbers try to do. Like a good rock climber will create a path on like a surface and then leave nails and framework and use this, buddy. When you're climbing, just put a rope. You know what, I've left the rope also behind, just climb. But with stand-up, at least I haven't practiced a lot of other art forms, but writing and stand-up is something we do. There is no such pin which will bear your weight while climbing the wall.
You're sometimes on a different mountain altogether.
You
Like
think you're
that
climbing, you think you're climbing the same
Yeah.
mountain, but you're not. And the pin that probably worked for some other comic who might have looped his rope through and walked, you try to loop it and the pin gives up. You have
Okay,
no idea why.
I think I lost the analogy right there. So what is the now? What is the rope and the pin now?
So,
what is the mountain and what is the pin now? Let's go back to
this is
because that
just
analogy suddenly, and I'm like, I'm in a
Okay,
freaking
so now
Tom
in
Cruise
fishing.
movie.
We are just jumping through sports. Actually,
Two unhealthy people
Yeah.
talking about
See,
rock
this is what
climbing.
happens when three writers sit in a room.
Yes.
They're just talking in analogies
Yes.
and these like metaphors and like, oh, okay, अच्छा, okay. तो
Like,
मतलब तू बोल
in
क्या रहा है
the-
actually?
In the middle है just like तू अपने बाप के बारे में बोल रहा है कि अपने माँ के बारे में बोल रहा है.
But I hear you, man. I agree. Like everybody's not on the same path. I agree. They have their own issues.
and you
man.
can't. That's the frustrating part. You can't be on the same path. You think you can be, but it's not possible. And that's why you come up with metaphors, because there's no way to explain it. You're trying to.
बोलेगा "रू, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है."
और तू क्या बोल रहा है, मेरे को भी नहीं मालूम यार, इसके लिए मैं बाकी सब वहाँ पर रह की.
It's like the 3 Idiots thing. आमिर खान जो सर सीधा सीधा बोला लेकिन पसंद नहीं आया. Like it's that.
3 Idiots का ना? That's a good scene. I love it. But actually, again, sorry to sound philosophical, but I'd like to quote what Jordan Peterson said, which
Yes.
I love, which is that the only person that you can be in competition with is yourself. Because you are the only person who has had your own strengths and weaknesses and your own experiences. Nobody else has had the same experience. So you can't be on the same path as somebody else. If you want to be better, just be better than yourself. Yesterday. Boom! End of podcast. Thank you guys. We're done.
We have just saved a lot of lives with that segment.
Yes.
You know what you're going to get.
Now
in
the
middle of
comments
some
will be
sort.
like, I had the knife in my hand.
Yeah. Like,
You saved me.
They mail Kunal the news. Like, I was going to use it, but thanks to you.
Thanks to Jordan Peterson.
That is very true. Philosophy, I mean, we tend to apologize for, turning philosophical, but
Isn't
it's,
it?
But
Yeah.
it's not
Shit, you're
supposed to be
right.
apologetic.
Yeah.
Like, don't apologize for that, because we are the only people, this is the only time where this conversation is happening. You know, this conversation is not allowed in a school.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I, as a kid, if I would have said that, like, because it has happened to me as a teacher, and it throws you off a bit, and you have to make time for it, for during parent-teacher meetings. And I used to be a fun guy because I was teaching literature. I did not have the burden of practicality at all. I did not have that at all. Like a math teacher would have to be like, no man, 2 + 2 is 4 only.
आप क्या सिखाते हो? सपने bro.
Yeah, just do that. And if I have to speak about tragedies, I can just point out to fictional characters and be like, see, what a horrible life, right? Yours isn't that. So I always used to be able to get away with it. But then there were moments where you could see a child is trying to wrestle with this notion of existence and thought of life.
At
and
like
what
14,
is-
15.
Yeah, because sometimes you just, well, she was also very good at art. So
Okay.
What does that mean?
So she was cursed.
Please.
yeah, she was trying to express herself in
Already,
visually,
okay.
yeah, in many different ways and visually, and she was really good at it. So she was already trying to find, you know, some sort of. She saw the world in a different way, and she had an inclination towards literature as well. But at a parent-teacher meeting, when I'm clarifying doubts and saying, "Ki haan, I marked it like this and that," and this kid, by the end, when the room is like dwindling to a couple of, she comes to me and she's like, sir, what's the point of all of this?
What is the meaning of life?
Yeah, and I was like, now at parent teacher meeting, buddy, come on.
But it's crazy that like we have that level of curiosity, inquisitiveness at that age, but it's just killed.
Oh,
It is killed in us. Like, this is not the time to ask this question. You figure it out later. That's what a parent would say, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
or a teacher would say. Oh, you asking me this. This is not what you're here for. You study this, you mug this up, and you like vomit it on the exam.
I hated
It's
school.
ridiculous, man.
I hated school. Like,
I love that his I hated school is like as a teacher. Like completely different perspective. Most people are like, yeah, me also. But as a teacher, oh boy.
because I could see what sort of experiences could have been created when I was a kid in school. And a quote that I came across on a great TED talk, I think Sir Ken Robinson or something along those lines was the guy's name. But he used a very good analogy. What he basically said was creativity is killed every year in schools because it's almost like how we mine earth and remove what we want from it, like, and make it a particular way just so that we can keep on getting. That's what people are doing to the minds of children, where you are being trained to now approach life in a very dictated fashion.
Yeah.
Be worried about the same things. You know, be worried about money. Everybody's worried about money. That's it. Yeah, it's important, but then start valuing yourself in money.
This whole somebody I was reading this book or some interview about how this whole schooling system was created for the industrialization.
Yeah. Factory workers को सिखाने के
Factory
लिए.
workers.
That's why the bell.
And you
everything.
need that little regimen for them to follow and just don't ask questions, just do. I want your 8 hours, I want your 12 hours or whatever it is. And that's it. And like it's the exact opposite of what
What
that
it should have
industrial
been.
revolution has.
It's also where you realize, damn, you will always have to ask for permission to go pee throughout your life. You know, as a kid, you feel like that, right? Like you have to put your hand up in a class of 60 other kids
So I
The
had
ultimate
so much,
social anxiety lesson.
I have so much.
with a full bladder.
As a kid, I had so much social anxiety, and I still did for a long time. Even now, I'm slightly. I get until I warm up to somebody, I'm a very different person. But I was so afraid of asking my teacher permission to go to the loo that I literally shat myself in class.
Damn. But
I was in the. I think I was in third standard or maybe even second. I shat myself, and then the funny thing is, like, we had. I think there was I had to go up to the desk to pick up my paper or something, and I went up, and like the whole class could see like my shit pants, and it didn't even occur to me that I think I raised my hand meekly as I was a very shy, scared child, and then teachers are just like, no, not right now, afterwards, and like I couldn't even say I want to go or how badly I wanted to go, and it was just like loosies dripping down my fucking legs. And then, so here's the thing, I went, this is a great story. And then I went, of course, it's just then the students behind were like, Miss, he shot his pants, Miss, he shot his pants. Right? And then I'm like, no, I haven't. No. And it's dripping down all the way to my ankles, and I can feel it, and I'm just like, it's like I can smell it, and everything. And then finally, the teacher was like, really show me, and she said, oh, go clean up right now. And it was the last class. So we finished at 3:00, right?
Yeah.
So I went to the loo, I washed it, and I washed up or whatever. Obviously, my undies were dirty, but I had to wear something. So I took out my undies, I threw my undies into the toilet, and I just wore my short pants, and I came out. And that whole day, my biggest fear was telling my mom that I
lost
threw away my undies. How do you explain this? The amount of like shame is just but this just goes to show how kids. I mean, maybe I'm an extreme example, and I think a lot of kids, sufficient number of kids are bold enough to like, okay, I want to go like whatever, fight or whatever. But there is a whole bunch of people who are really, really just can't. They don't have that in them to fight back and say, no, I don't want this. Like, I really think about this. People keep asking me, dude, you became a comic at 30? Are you kidding me? You quit your day job. You worked in Dubai and London. You were making lots of money in pounds and all that. You quit at 30. I'm like, yeah, I think that's when I was so frustrated enough to say that it overcomes my social anxiety or my fear of
you finally went, may I do comedy please?
Yeah, please. Go wash up. Wash up all your souls.
I had the exact experience when I peed my pants in junior KG. I remember I was just like, okay, it's happened. And then immediately I was just like, I'm gonna be cool now. Just not acknowledge it. And I'm just expecting, I think they'll think someone else did it. Like just if I play it cool, I can blame it on someone else. And the reason why I used to not do that is because, dude, the toilet was just weird and scary, dude. It wasn't like here now when I see.
Yeah, I think most toilets generally are scary.
They carry the
and we as men are saying that. So when girls be
dude, there's a reason why. There's a reason why
a lot of women like they don't drink water because they're like, fuck,
I don't want to go to pee.
Stay, where will I leave it? Like this. There's a reason why we pee on walls and all. Like like I completely get people who pee on walls.
Splash avoidance. That's it.
Splash avoidance meaning?
If you pee on the floor, then it splashes higher as compared to.
No, I'm saying not using a shauchalaya. If like after this and all. I mean like because sometimes you enter into a urinal and you see a design which you're like worried, oh, it's gonna come out and grab something.
It has that kind of thing. It has the fear associated with a black hole. Like it's almost like there's darkness.
There's a portal there.
Know what exists, but this is just it's a geographical location with a lot of please don't talk about this.
Don't share this with
anyone.
And the funny thing is the loo doesn't even have to be shitty for it to happen. Like even if it's like I've been to these 5-star loos where like one urinal has the space of a 1 BHK in Bombay. And I'm just like, that's a really, like I almost feel like that piss pot is judging me. Like this is like I felt very condescending piss pot. On me. And there's no reason for me to feel this way. But it's just that whole thing.
It's too clean. I'm going to make it dirty.
There's so much space. I'm like, I don't have this much space in my shower, dude, between two urinals. And so it doesn't have to be a shitty urinal for us to feel this way.
Yeah, it does not. I mean, especially if it's outside your money auqat zone, then you feel like you are not meant to be there. So your shit is going to dirty it more. Like, I got poor shit, dude.
Forget about me. My piss doesn't deserve to be here.
Like halfway through the
oh my god, is my piss too yellow? Oh shit, no, it needs to be a little bit white.
You're just pissing and going, sorry. Like you feel like that guy giving napkins, he's there so that you apologize to him.
Dude, that has got to be the worst job description in the world.
It is.
100%, dude.
I feel so bad. I've always tipped somebody who's just every single time. I can't. It's just not.
You've been to the UK. You've lived in the UK, right? So I'd been there as for my masters. I was there, and I've only gone clubbing in UK. I've never gone clubbing here and what. I've only gone clubbing in UK. But sure, you think three of us will? We will not.
I'm going from zero, so like I have never had the experience. So I'm like anything. I'm open to it.
It should be a vlog.
We put those little.
I'll be like Carl Pinkerton.
GoPros and those pen hidden cameras or whatever.
Yeah,
that's allowed. Hidden camera sounds wrong, but sounds like our objective is very different.
In
So UK, huh?
a lot of the clubs, you always saw the napkin person to be a black guy and not from UK, like an African black guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And you always felt like, damn, dude, this fellow must just be so pissed at the world. Like, I came to a country which is now like, I'll be able to make a future in, and I still have to fucking work in a bathroom. What
But
the
can I
hell?
tell you how some of these guys are so resourceful? Like I've seen
Yes.
some chaps who have like freaking mint and tissues and
Oh,
deodorant and cologne, and they're like just selling you property somewhere.
There
It's
is a
just-
vending
there's
machine.
Everything. It's
Mitigate
amazing.
anything animalistic about you.
It's
I got
amazing.
it for you, man. You have to look a very different version of, smell different,
Yeah.
look different, like just
Just
do
the way
it
like
up.
women go into powder their nose and they come out like a completely different
Yeah.
person. Like men, we should do this for men. I think that
Yeah.
this guy takes it upon himself to say, I'm going to make men be better when they come out of the loo than when they
Yeah.
went in.
Yeah. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Come on, tuck your shirt in.
It's also really funny. One of my first jokes that I ever did on stage came from an observation at a bar in UK,
Okay.
which is that this was actually literally my first time on stage. This is one of my closing joke in a 2-minute set. It said,
Did you do your first set in India or
yeah,
in UK?
India,
Acha,
Blue
okay,
Frog,
cool. Oh, cool.
weird
Oh.
as amateur.
Open
night.
mic.
So the joke was, I went. UK men are really confident. Did you know that they have condom vending machines in bars and restaurants?
Yeah.
Like you would never find a condom vending machine in India, unless you're at Ranbir Kapoor's house. But
Yeah.
I went to UK and I saw the most comprehensive condom vending machine at this bar in London. It had every product a man could ever want in a night out. It had breath mint, Viagra, Durex condoms, and Crocin. Right? If you come back and your wife says, not now, honey, I have a headache. Booyah!
Yeah.
And then I finally added a tag which was like, throw in a pregnancy test and you've got yourself an electronic pimp.
Yeah. Nice. That closes it up
That closes
perfectly.
the joke.
Yeah.
So that was my first ever
Yeah.
freaking joke in an open mic, and it comes from a bar
Yeah.
in London.
The Crocin ka another thing is like you can take it almost to quell the anxious
Both of you are
headache
taking
you'll
one
have the
pill
next day.
before-
The
Before
next-
sex.
I think I kind of like the
Yeah,
type of my
the
wife
other
has a
one.
headache.
Yeah.
That's the most ultimate
Yeah.
aphrodisiac. So.
And then
It's a good pill, right?
It is.
But it's an actual machine.
Yeah.
I've actually seen it in, like, I think I even remember the bar. I think it was the George in
Yeah.
Liverpool Street.
Damn.
The George.
Dude, they're like every
Oh,
fourth
so
bar
wait.
is called the George.
So over there also it's the same logic of naming bars. Like bars are
pubs
always
or-
men names. Over here also, like there's always a Deepak or a Sandeep or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like over there also it's like George. I'm pretty sure there's a
Prakash
Fred
Anand.
bar. Yeah, it's that.
So there's some history behind them. They also have very funny pub names, like the nipple and the table or
Yeah.
something like. They just have random,
Okay.
like
The pickled hen is the
yeah,
name
they
of
just
a
have random-
ale. It's a drink. Why? It has no
Acha.
pickles. It has no hen thing in it, but it's called that. The bloody foot. Can I have a bloody
Yeah.
foot?
But that's cocktail names, right? You're talking about. But I'm talking about just bar names are always very
Yeah.
like unusual, and I don't know why. There's somebody told me about some history, but I forgot about what it is.
I remember going to a pub which was apparently one of the oldest. The Cockle and the Hen, aisa kuch to, which was 18th century pub. And then you heard stories about an ale apparently it's not a cold, it's not a chilled beverage. Ale, the version of the beer that they ferment over there, it's a different sort of fermentation process, but it's supposed to be stored at and served at a bit slightly colder than the room temperature or closer to the room
Right.
temperature. And I was just
I think you're
imagine.
talking about wine.
नहीं wine नहीं, wine तो you can chill, ऐसा कुछ scene नहीं है.
No, wine is served at room temperature, except that room temperature of UK, not
हाँ. Yeah.
slightly different.
Yeah. And then you heard stories about, okay, this particular place was so old that at that point of time you used to have barrels put on like boats, and they used to like transport that to the
That's how they use the river as a transportation
yeah,
thing.
they use the river as a transportation thing, and then they used to have guards for the barrels. Because at that point of time also on the way, there used to be a lot of dacoity.
Sure.
Of course, dude.
So people are just like, matlab, this is the time when they are taking the beer. We feel like having beer. Why not just steal it?
The great hail robbery.
Yeah, because we'll anyway consume the evidence. It's not like it's going to be left around.
I won't even
Unless I have to
remember
go
what
to a piss
happened.
pot after that.
Yeah.
Like,
And then I'll just use the barrel for it. Like I'll just do that.
refill it that way. Oh my god.
No, or just
And then put it down the river.
no, like if people come to my house to say, hey, this barrel is ours, and how did it? Like, no, dude, I'm using it for just
Pissing in it,
yeah, that's it.
I didn't know about this.
But that is quite a
What were you doing in UK?
studying. I decided to pursue a master's in creative writing and literature. So
What is a creative writing masters? What do you do in it?
there are different modules that you can pursue, like writing for stage, screenplay, and prose.
So like, how does what would a course be like? Like what is like day one? Like what does the teacher come and tell you like on day one?
So we had different
day
teachers
7,
for
day
different things that we were studying, and your 2 years was split into different your first 6 months you're dedicating it to, say, screenwriting or prose, completely prose. So you're looking at different forms and function of writing a novel. So you look at somebody like Junot Diaz, who has written this great novel, The Brief and Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde.
Oscar, wow.
Yeah. So it's based upon this first person narrative of a immigrant from Dominican Republic in New York. But it has references from the world. You know what I mean? Imagine a kid from the DR in New York, and then he's quoting Silver Surfer from Marvel, and he's also speaking about the dictator who fucked up his whole family.
Wow.
So he had to move here. So how much of the world is just compressed into a particular narrative, and it's spoken in and written in such a great, new, fresh manner that the footnotes had their own narrative. And on some pages, the footnotes were longer than
The
what
main
was.
But again, this sounds like the course is more a analysis course or a review or a what's it called, a critics
That is
course?
a component of it. It's you're not just critically analyzing it; you're analyzing the devices utilized for what
Yeah,
form
but
and
do you
function.
do you
also.
create stories
Yes,
of your
so
own? Are you
that's
required
one
to?
component where you break these down. You have a reading list spanning from 17th century Madame Bovary to Junot Diaz, and then
You just
start.
thrown names at us that I have
I didn't know
never
that.
and will never hear. Again.
But it came from like where the classics, the idea of classics came. And I remember it because I came across the word picaroon character for the first time. So Madame Bovary is a picaresque novel where you have the introduction of the anti-hero. She is an orphan, but she's a thief.
Okay.
She is this, but she's also that. Like, it's not
The
with or
grey
without.
Is
area
it the first example of an anti-hero?
Yes, at least the genre was called like the picaresque way of creating it, and
Acha.
so you studied all of those things, but then you wrote your own stuff as well. So you had to write a 10,000, 20,000, in some cases 50,000 word collection of either short stories or
50,000
chapters.
is like
or
a whole novel.
yeah. I mean, you write a
10,000
lot.
is like a novelette.
Yeah, you write a lot, but it was a good purging thing because you purge a lot.
Do you like creative writing, and why haven't you pursued writing a novel?
Because my parents were really kind. They neglected me with a library, you know. so they were kind with that, and I was really horrible at every subject apart from English, because they did not make it interesting for me at all. Like, it was boring.
That's what I'm saying. So why aren't you writing novels?
It's fucking difficult. But I'm writing shows now, so I've just
I know,
pivoted
like,
from
so
there.
When you studied, did you do screenwriting?
I did a
you
component of screenwriting, but a novel is something that I would like to do, but I know how much dedicated
What about
time,
novella?
effort, and
Even if
energy
it's
it takes.
20,000 words or something, or like a collection of short stories, like a quiver full of arrows.
मैं बहुत चेकआउट वगैरह पढ़ के हो गया रे दुनिया मतलब नहीं है. I would rather spend time on jokes.
I've read like 6 books that are fiction,
Yeah?
and I still want to write.
Uh-huh.
I've read
Like you know,
much.
like people say that if you want to be this, then you have to consume that, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to be a novelist, and you gotta write. You gotta read more. I can't read, but I'll write.
I spent the first 20 years just reading.
That's amazing, man.
Just reading.
I didn't have the attention to do it. I was ADHD as a
The experience of life has many universal aspects to it. Sense of loss has everybody loses things, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody all the time. That's why there's a whole genre of love songs.
Yeah.
You know, the boy bands exist.
99% of songs are love songs.
You have spoken about great poetry. Let me take you to the other side.
The boy band side?
Yeah, the boy band side
You are
of
my
poetry.
fire indeed.
Yeah. What a level of that is, a teenage response to emotion.
That's well put.
Like that's the first way of, because this kid has no idea what true loss is. So he's just like, oh, I want to talk about water and ocean and that's it, man, because I've been to the beach. My parents took me there. And that's the first that's where you realize ki there is more pain to the idea of your pain not being unique at the beginning.
Oh, that's such
You know what I mean?
That's
It is
so true.
It's so
That's
irritating
so good.
because these are the first moments where I'm experiencing pain and you're telling me this is shit? This is not even honest?
Not only that, and there's like, yeah, I know, I've been there. Like, you've been there? How can you? It's my pain.
Yeah.
How can you claim to know what I feel? But it's true.
Yeah.
But you're right, that uniqueness of pain is something that we are almost hold on to. Like,
Yeah.
Like, no, only I know how I feel.
It's not, buddy. It's like, and the moment you realize it is, at least as a guy, you realize the first breakup feeling where it's the worst breakup. First breakup feeling will be the worst breakup. Every other breakup after that, you'll be able to deal with it better. I mean, it will still be sad, but you'll be so much be able to deal with it
because
better.
it's not pain that's unique. It's your solution that's supposed to be.
Huh?
Like that's it. Like that's the whole point. Like that's why teenagers
You mean
get
the way
angry.
you react in the second time and the third time is different from the way
हाँ
you react the
मतलब
first time?
like okay, this is how I handle the pain. This is how I handle the breakup. Like the teenager screams that, oh, this is a new pain. And it's not the pain that's new. Now you'll deal with the pain and then you'll
Right.
figure out.
Yeah, because the teenager's pain is like so, because you feel like there's a vacuum.
Yeah.
You've never felt a vacuum till that point of time, and then you're like, boop, it's gone. What the fuck?
It's like your heart was full for so many weeks, months,
Yeah.
or however long you've had this crush.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's like somebody put a prick and
Yeah. Like it tuck, like
and now it's
collapses.
just gone. And now I'm like, wait, who? I want this inflated
Yeah,
sense
yes.
of ego again.
Yeah. And then you turn to, boy bands. Like that is when you turn to, and that's, and I
Make me
see-
feel that thing, dude.
Yeah. And then I see
Also,
like,
he's so hot.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you think you're a blonde
Oh,
guy
dude.
with six-pack abs.
Bro, that you can see young boys, 16, 17 year old now actually dressing like K-pop boy bands.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what the chicks like. That's what the girls there is like.
Korean dudes
Oh, yeah.
are just like, they're like paintings, man.
Haan,
They're
next level, no?
They're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
sculptures.
Dude, they're bred specially, I think, for that. Like if you look at the
They're bred in the
the-
sense of the
Yeah.
training and all that they go
Yeah,
through is
yeah.
standard, but like still they just
no,
such
the
pretty boys,
K-pop
man.
regiment is a thing. You go to
Yeah, I
a
know.
legit
I've
institute
heard
and
about it,
whatnot, and like
Damn.
then they pair you up and they're like, okay, you guys will be a great thing. And then after that, after post success is like, okay, now you're not dating anyone. we've made you everything that sex is supposed to be, but you're not supposed to have sex now.
Oh, is that how
Like
it
it's
works?
like
I
the
guess,
priest.
yeah, you have to be
Yeah,
single
there's
too.
this one K-pop lady who was like, dude, I am in a relationship and now everybody, like I lost everything. Like K-pop stopped for her because she went into a relationship. It was that way.
Oh, so like the producers or the
Yeah, they were
company-
like
company doesn't allow
immediately.
them
Yeah,
to-
because
Did
it's
you drop
it's
it?
part of her
They'll push
contract.
somebody else instead.
Yeah.
They start
It's
promoting
the
them.
next guy now.
Because you're not an attainable product now. no?
Huh.
That was the
You
thing.
can't be human.
Boy bands,
Aspirational.
Yeah.
pop song, Katy Perry, or whomever you look at, it's very difficult for them to sustain the idea of a relationship and whatnot also, because that's what they're selling through their art as well. Like they're speaking
When you're
about...
in your 20s, yes.
Yes.
But I
I'm
think
talking about that zone
automatically
only.
as you grow older, like if you see, you're right to a large extent. I agree with this, but I think at some point audiences get it. Like they'll see an Anne Hathaway on
Yeah.
screen like kissing somebody else or having or whatever. But they're like, oh, I can't attain her, so I'm not going to watch this movie because she's already married. No, that's not true anymore.
Yeah. And not about actors and actresses so much.
No, this specifically this boy band thing.
Because actor and
Because they're
actress,
selling to that.
as an audience, you know it's a fictional character. I'm going in for the delusion of it all. But as a singer,
It's also a fictional character.
yeah, but it's
Nah,
not.
but
comics, they're a fictional
for that
character.
audience,
yes, of course.
for that age group, it's
For the
if
age
you
group, it's
look
real.
at
Yeah.
how it is.
Like the demographic whom they are
Yeah.
catering to, because you will see there is a very close age thing between the performer also and this. Like if you go to a Britney Spears concert, you'll not see 16-year-old girls as much as 35-year-old women who when they were 16
When they were
heard
16.
toxic
That's
and are
true,
like,
yeah.
hey man. So that's like what you're relating
I
to.
agree. That's true with in general, like in art, like whatever you experience in your puberty till about whatever 20
Yeah.
kind of age stays with you for the rest of your life. To this day, whatever I've consumed at that time has
Yeah.
been like
Yeah.
whether it's TV shows or movies or songs or poems or whatever it is, that stays with us for the rest. That's
Yeah.
why they keep saying that like your goal should always be to. Some people say that your goal should always be to cater to 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds, and it's why today, what do you call them? YouTubers are bigger than other bigger
Yeah.
celebrities than celebrities are.
Acha, you're saying this is like business advice. no?
Business advice.
Ha! Just like
Yeah,
your
I
goal should be to
apologize.
cater to. I just like what?
But
Just to clarify.
if you have a girl who's 13, like your student is like, but what's the point of all of this? They're like, yes, come for my show.
That's my market.
This is come for my 1 hour sadness comedy.
You know what 30-year-olds don't know. That you're supposed to start letting go.
You are my TG. You are the,
Yeah.
the 13-year-old wise one.
The one who does not the one who ironically goes goth and says like,
That
But
is.
I think that's the reason why like post 25 and whatnot you get into like instrumental music and like
Yeah.
you are just like I don't want to hear what you have or what solution you have. Just
Yeah.
be the background music so I can work on the solution. Okay? Like,
just lo-fi hip hop.
Yeah. Lo-fi hip-hop.
Exactly.
I just want to come down.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Hilarious.
I always go for the Japanese girl by the window with the cat and
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the book and the
coffee
and
notebook.
this-
That's
Yep.
the one that I've got.
Yes.
Lo-fi
Like, that's
girl.
my getting shit together vibe. And it's so true. It's a Japanese girl because they make sure that they have their shit together. Like the Japanese work culture is right there. You sit by your window, sit down, and you write notes and
I
you're
love
done.
lo-fi hip hop, dude. I work
Yeah,
on
it's
it
next
every day.
level,
It's
dude.
like continuously play 2-3 hours in the morning
Yeah.
while I'm working. It's the best stuff.
It makes you feel like your pace is slowing down compared to the rest of the world.
And yet it's keeping you upbeat. So it's almost like I feel like it's synced to your heartbeat. So it kind of like if you're really like low on your if you're feeling low energy, it kind of perks you up just enough
Huh.
for you to be focused. And if you're too high energy, it lowers you down to like this frame where I think the best description I can give is where you're at peace.
Huh,
And
it's
I
the
think when-
flow, na?
Yeah, and
It
when you're at
gets
peace,
you in
it's
the
easier to
flow.
go into flow state. So
Yeah.
I feel I just love it. When I discovered it, I think during lockdown, I was like, oh, this is what I want to work to every time.
I think a lot of people discovered lo-fi during lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it became a thing in lockdown.
Huh.
You had to. That was the soundtrack for everybody's wait for death. Like at the beginning of the pandemic, like we wanted good elevator music till we reached that floor. That is what lo-fi is. You know, the penthouse is the Grim Reaper opening, so might as well make the journey better.
It just ends with
Yeah.
But I've done bizarre things, man. I like listening to like upbeat music. Like, so I've gone for a run while listening to classical music, Mozart. And if you get that sync right, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's
That's
like,
also a
I
trip,
feel
dude.
like I'm in a Nike running ad.
Yeah.
Like just that music is played back down. It's like
Yeah.
na 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 na, na, like pacing across the
Yeah.
Shivaji Park.
And your eyes are slightly closed, so you're not able to see people's confused Why is he moving his hands while running?
Why is he running zigzag like this?
he's telling me to go there. Why? I'm running.
Is there an ad being shot? What is happening?
Is this the new real trend? Oh shit.
Because then you realize that that medium of art is adding to your sense of enjoyment in the moment.
Yeah.
And runner's high is a great way to get there.
To get to the enjoyment.
Yeah, like where you feel like that. I like to go trail running. If you ever want to go for a great trek, it's near my house only. You can go. Fucking beautiful.
God knows I had to trek to get here. So,
Yeah, exactly. And
but I might take you up on that offer.
then you go running on that, like, because I've been there for a couple of times. So when you run, you have to be like very coordinated. Because if you make like one mistake, your ankle is going to twist, or some horrible stuff is going to happen in the middle of a jungle. So you don't want that.
Best of luck.
Hey, I lost movement in the forest. Okay.
So if you walk it, how long is it? And
It's an hour and a half.
Okay.
An hour and a half. An hour 45.
Like 20 minutes. And
It's like half an hour 30. Around 40 minutes actually.
nice, yeah. It's a good run.
But it's a very good run. And then when you listen to music and you're stepping perfectly, it almost feels like this is the soundtrack for your life
Right.
in the moment. And good music does that. It helps with working out or doing stuff
For
that
sure.
I find boring. Like I love having like dedicated playlists for like local trains also. I use them. I use them a lot, and in different phases of my life, my playlists have changed. Like when I was a college-going kid, it was a lot of Metallica, a lot of Pantera, a lot of all of that, because there was already so much noise and irritation at the crowd, because that was the first time I was stepping out into the world.
Yeah, it
into
helps
the
you push
city.
people and get down on the station.
Because this is the first time. I can't be docile. Like,
Yeah,
fuck you. This is a time to get off. And that was the time I heard that. Now, pre-show, I'm listening to chill lo-fi music and moving along with the... Because I want to be in that sort of a state. And when I look at it, my playlists might be an indicator of my mental growth.
100%.
Over
dude.
the...
I have, you know what I have? I have a depression mix, which
Yeah.
is all happy songs. So if I'm depressed, I listen to that.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
depression mix would be depressing songs so you can connect.
No,
with
no,
the
no,
depression.
no. I'm like, okay, I need something to save. So I just got like all happy, upbeat songs, all Disney movie songs.
Like, every
It's
song
just
is a
But
CPR.
Yeah.
I love sadness.
Yeah.
I love sadness. I think there is this.
Come home, I'll
Almost
give you
that
pav
direction.
kilo. I'll just fucking give you pav kilo. dude. I have extra. I love sadness. Okay.
No, in the sense that you gotta stay in it. Like I feel like when I
100%.
stay
Yeah,
in
yeah,
it,
yeah.
if I allow it to happen, it then goes.
True.
As
Yeah.
compared to trying to avoid it, because then you're just like it's almost like you're making it a thicker layer if you don't
Yeah.
allow it to happen. As
Yeah,
compared
yeah.
if you allow it to happen, it just goes away. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sad. Oh, cool. I can do that thing that I wanted to do for the past 3 weeks and not done, which is just sit at home with a tub of ice cream and watch some shitty movie. And it's a beautiful feeling, and you know that if you allow it, tomorrow morning it'll be fine. But then if you're like, no, man, no, avoid, no, can't be sad.
Yeah.
What's the point?
I get that. Like I know that whenever it's going there, I know that okay, it's time to slow down. It's time to slow down, look back, and be like, okay, what is happening? वो वाला चीज़.
Yeah.
Also, I think procrastination is basically you're putting the pause button on life for some time, because you're like, I'm going to get the solution. I'm not feeling like I have the solution at the moment to whatever I'm feeling, but it's just a matter about 24 hours. Tomorrow I'll get it.
That's when the rotating of the earth becomes a buffering signal for your life.
Yes, because a lot of procrastination is that you're switching
But
off
this is not
what you want.
procrastination, what we are talking about.
Of course, no,
Yeah.
not this.
100%.
I think
not
generally
this.
in life.
Generally in life.
But no, I don't like your sarcastic tone.
No, he sounds sarcastic.
This is the real thing, okay?
His survival skill was that. So everything is a sound.
Literature.
Yeah.
Studied. No, it really is. The only way to make an emotion go is to experience it.
Yes.
If you avoid it, it'll stay.
Yeah. And it'll become
What
bigger.
you resist persists.
I did that with anxiety a lot, and it helps. Like you just let it wash
I'm
over
feeling
you.
this. Yeah, let it wash over you.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like a wave that's just gonna like
Yeah.
overwhelming for a bit, but you don't have to like just go into it. Let it be. Come on to wash.
It doesn't hit you really.
It doesn't hit
you
you as
feel
much.
like it's a wave, but it doesn't
because
really.
a lot of this is about like it's about giving yourself permission. Like it's so even when it comes to like this is this game-changing thing that I heard Neil Gaiman's podcast interview with Tim Ferriss, which is that they asked him like, how do you write?
Yeah.
Permission to write.
Yeah.
What a great title.
Permission to do nothing.
Yeah.
No, so the conversation is like, how do you write? It's like I sit down, I sit for 2-3 hours, and I just there's a time that I have a fixed desk, and I just sit and I just write. And he's like, okay, but what happens if you can't write? He's like, yeah, sometimes you just sit.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean? He's like, so the thing is, the rule is that you sit at your desk and you've got this time allotted for it, and you're allowed to write.
Yeah.
and you're allowed to do nothing.
Hmm.
You're just not allowed to do something else. Like don't check your phone, don't check your email, don't listen to music, don't do anything that's distracting, don't make your bed, don't you just sit there and just give yourself permission to not write and give yourself permission to write.
Yeah.
Either way, just let it happen. And when you just let it happen, it happens. And he says at some point, writing is more interesting than doing nothing. So you write. Of course, he's talking from a fiction writer point of view. It's slightly different for us.
No, it's correct. Like,
but largely it's the same thing.
It's that transition from one activity to another that is always like the bane of any creative endeavor.
Yeah.
Like that is what stops you. So like that is what happens with me also. I'm just like, okay, just write for 5 minutes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The problem is that you're trying to write. Don't.
Not from that.
Allow yourself to write.
I like just sit down.
Emotions, which is allow yourself to feel the emotions.
Like it's like give it 5 minutes. It will feel better. Give it 5 minutes. It will feel better. Correct. It's like that way. And then like, okay, I've been writing all day. Nice. Like then
you never
like,
know.
Okay,
Next thing you know, it's like you've written like 2 lines.
The best cinematic comparison I can make to what you guys were saying, for some reason I was just thinking about Matrix ka that one last ka bit is there na, where Agent Smith is fighting Keanu Reeves' character in the railway station niche for the first time, and then like it's just like you just go beyond that. You start approaching what you're feeling consciously, then you're able to see it and dodge it. Like there's not even the sense of dodging. You realize it's not there. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're processing anxiety, you realize, I'm feeling something.
Right.
And this is what it is, and it's fine because your whole life cannot be anxiety free.
Exactly. You can't have 24 hours, 365 days.
Yeah, dude.
Like that.
And it will exist in small degrees everywhere. You know, so you don't have to worry about it. It's not a big...
I've changed my whole philosophy about life in the last 5. Like I was like, I don't think we're designed to work more than 4 to 6 hours a day.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
I don't think we should be doing this 8, 12 hours. People try to write all the time.
Dude, that recently there was this shit. Some CEOs and all were saying, throw yourself into your work.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
18
man.
hours a day. What? Like, what is wrong with you?
Of course, a CEO will say that. He wants his employees to hear it and say,
yeah, that's how you get promoted.
I think CEOs just like, there is a bit of lie to it also. Till you become a CEO, probably you work incredibly hard. But as a CEO, if you're telling me you're putting in 18-hour days,
like,
I'll tell you...
successful.
No, then I'll tell you your employees are not working hard enough. Dude, you're doing most of the work. Then what's the point?
Not delegated anything.
Yeah, manager भी नहीं दे कुछ काम क्या कर रहा है तू 16-18 घंटा काम करते बैठा है.
Bro, मैं जेट क्या ऐसे ही लेके आया क्या? मेरे को घूमने का फिजी.
And I think that's the narrative that they build, to keep the factory machinery going.
100%.
Because who else is using the private planes? I know fucking the employees are not.
Yeah.
So you're going to a tropical island somewhere.
I have a Time magazine interview, dude. I can't be expected to check emails.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about
Why are my emails not being read out to me verbally while
Yeah.
I walk down?
I'm jogging.
While I'm jogging. Have 6 people around me. And then so-and-so send an email saying this. Yes, just reply. NP.
And you can choose the accent. Like if the mail has come from Greece, where's that Greek person? Like, read it out. I want the authenticity to be there.
I want to feel the emotions.
That's where I realize money is. I get the pull of it. Like people keep on saying, "How I don't get, man. How could somebody indulge in so much corruption?" Hey, dude, you have any idea what money does to life?
Yeah,
like rich people go to tropical island and still don't suffer from mosquitoes. You know how difficult that is, where there are 5-star properties where they have done things so that mosquitoes don't exist. The insects who...
Or they go to a beach where there isn't dog poop on the...
Yeah, they have hunted out sharks. They have taken... You'll see Steven Spielberg swimming there.
But do you find that appealing? Like going abroad to some beach and like settling down and like... not settling down, but enjoying your vacation.
I want to be a observer to that experience rather than just go for the experience itself. Because anywhere and everywhere you go... See, there are different ways... You go to different places and different things become funny for you for the first time.
Right. Agree.
Correct? Now, due to the lack of full pockets, there are certain places where I rarely get a chance to
Correct. Okay, from that point of view,
So
yeah.
from that
but
point
that's
of
also
view, yes.
experiencing for the sake of experiencing it, right? Do you want to like use it as inspiration for creating?
It will be
that's
fun
never
to
the
laugh
aim.
at that craziness. It will be hilarious, like just to be like, you have such like all the masseuse like I've seen at 5-star properties are really good looking models. Like you'll never see an ugly person giving a massage at a 5-star property.
I just
Actually,
think that's the
I saw an
videos,
ugly
dude.
You
person,
did?
But she was the best masseuse I've ever had in my life.
See, she had to
She
be.
was good.
She had to
She
be.
wasn't that great looking, but she was good.
Yeah, she was there to teach all of the other good-looking people they'll hire. Yeah, learn from
I thought they
her.
put good looking people at the reception desk.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Beauty needs to exist everywhere when you're rich. You can't look at ugly things. I think ugliness is pixelated to rich people. They can't
Why
see
is
it.
this
An
not
ugly
full
person,
HD?
Yeah.
an ugly person looks also like a pixel.
Oh yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, the standards of beauty have changed so much now over time. So much.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
now I think the standards of beauty are morphing to an extent where filters will become a part of how we look. Botox is our first couple of steps
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
Because on Instagram and whatnot, you can smoothen out the wrinkles and you can take away time.
Blush and all that.
Yeah,
Like, take away time.
and
yeah.
and you can make yourself look ultra white here, like it's the sparkling diamonds embedded in your cheeks. You can have those filters, but I'm telling you, man, if we go down this road, I'm seeing those to be the next surgical things that
Yeah,
people
you're
do,
probably right.
because the pouty lips started as filters.
There's
And
No,
then
no, Botox
it
has
became
been there for a long time,
Botox
yeah.
No,
has
but,
been there.
Even lip
But,
Botox has
like,
been there for a long time.
Yeah, it has.
Not lip
But
Botox, whatever, lip job or whatever.
but people did not do so many lip jobs.
Of course they do.
The dude,
Dude, filters are what, 6 years old, man. What are you talking
no,
about?
but there are
more
people.
than that.
2015, man. When did Instagram come? 2012,
when
13?
I'm not speaking about when it started. I'm speaking about the amount of people who started doing it.
What, using filters?
Using filters, nahi, using fillers for their lips, like getting lip jobs done.
Huh,
To
there's
have
more
that
today.
pouty look.
That's more today, but it's
Like-
just a question of it's a function of how much money people have and how much of the consumption of content that there is.
Yeah.
But the thing itself existed since the 70s.
Of course, vanity existed for the longest
Yeah,
amount of
that's
time. Nobody's questioning
people
that.
have more
But
money now
oh yes.
and time
No, I think all these things became cheaper.
also.
Yeah.
That is also another
Yeah.
thing. No, but there are people who are doing plastic surgery to look like emojis. There's
Oh,
folks
yeah.
doing that. Yeah.
What?
To have like stuff that looks like emojis.
What
or
emoji
whatever.
are they looking like?
I don't know, like
Smiley
smiley
face.
and yeah.
Just
some
like
stuff.
did they make the face yellow and like
Yeah.
Not yellow, but like the
Make it
eyebrows
round.
and all are a certain thing and all. Like
Shave
they're
their
going for that.
heads.
Maybe.
I've
I saw it a long time back.
What
so I
if you
don't
had to
know.
make yourself into emoji face? What would it
It
be?
would just be a thumbs up because
Your face would be a
Yeah.
thumb.
yeah.
Is that
Because
what it
that's
is?
what I
It's
use.
just this huge body and then there's like a
There's
thumb
a
on top
thumb.
of it.
100%.
That's the best
Because that's how
emoji.
I communicate with 90% of people on WhatsApp. I'm
And
just
And then
like,
you're just like, I don't want that. No
Yeah.
thanks. Come.
Yeah.
That's your whole thing.
yeah.
How many would you like? One, please.
No, this is 6.
Just one. This is 6. How is this 6? Yeah.
You didn't play hand cricket or what as a kid?
hand
I did,
cricket.
so?
I have not.
This is 6.
Why is this 6?
But what is
What's
hand
6?
cricket? I don't know.
Hand
what-
cricket is like rock, paper, scissors.
Huh.
But-
Oh, that's not the hand cricket I was
so-
talking about. I was saying playing cricket with my hand.
Like
No,
no,
no.
bat.
No, bat.
think
Yeah,
this
you
is
do it with a hand,
something
you do
else.
fist and hit it.
I think this concept is something else. What do you
What
This
mean
is
by
a school. So what you do is you and I, we just put fingers ahead. How many ever fingers, that's the number of runs. So if I'm batting, I put 2, 3, 4 and that's the, while simultaneously you're also putting fingers ahead. If you put the identical fingers, then I'm out. So like 1, this is a
Okay.
single, double, 3 runs, 4
But why
runs.
would you not always
and
put
that's-
5? If you're
Because
batting?
then he'll put 5 and then I'm out.
Oh, so there's a bit of a
Yeah.
mind game. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. So, you
So
can
if
score
our
8
fingers
runs also.
match, no, till 6. 6 is the
Okay.
highest. There's no 8 runs in any.
It's possible.
No, this game was invented by kids who couldn't afford
Of course.
bat or ball.
It's in
Yeah.
school.
Like-
And also
It's in
hadn't
school
heard
where
of
there is a
rock, paper,
parking
scissors.
lot instead of a ground. That's what it is.
We used to play book cricket.
Book cricket also.
I've never done this.
Yeah, book cricket, the writing pad, that made
Yeah.
sense.
Tying a handkerchief into a ball, you did that?
Yes.
What?
Make the handkerchief, keep
हाँ,
tying it
yeah.
until it's a ball.
Yeah,
And
So you're
then
playing
like-
full toss all the time.
full toss basically, yeah.
Yeah, and in those games, just because it was made out of handkerchiefs, you vented out anger on that ball.
How, man?
Oh my god.
Also, people discovered that they have a backhand when they were playing with the handkerchief.
Yeah.
Right?
Meaning?
Yeah.
Like you normally you would hit like that. Some people will just turn around and hit it like this.
Yeah. And
Just
because
because
it's a
there's nobody-
writing
no
pad,
fielders
it
in
doesn't
there.
matter.
Damn, dude.
Dude, that was some jugaad cricket. I remember playing
Yeah.
football with a plastic bottle in school. You
Yeah.
get a plastic bottle.
Plastic is a dependable substance that way.
Yeah, it
You
does
know,
It's
everything.
everlasting, man. It's
Yeah,
never gonna
I
go
mean,
solid.
as garbage also you end up using some, like you did not have stumps, you had 3 bottles or something like that, which was just that was unnecessary amount of resourcefulness. Now when I think about it as a kid, fuck, what all did we use? We used like a empty coconut shell
For what?
that used to be
Picnic
the
with stump.
हाँ बीच में वो तेरा डाइन रहेगा तभी तू उसके इधर खड़ा
अच्छा,
रहे
ice
ऐसा
spice
कुछ
के
तो
लिए।
हाँ
हाँ.
Ice spice के लिए अच्छा.
and then you had there was never this thing called land lava here. We had land water because we never had
I
lava.
had that alligator in the water or something
Huh,
like that.
yeah.
And lava also, yeah.
Yeah.
It was called, what did I call it? We used to call it
We used to call it dongar pani. That is what
Cross
we
the
call it.
river or something. we used to
Yeah,
call it something.
and all of those games, if you see, have again a universality to it. They have just different factors, which are the fear-inducing factors.
Okay.
Yeah.
But all of those games are based upon your most monkey primal level of survival. Like, hey, water, be careful, huh? You can't be in water for a long time, and this always be at a higher height. Be afraid of fire. Things
This
of
is-
that nature. The running predator
Huh.
prey ki pakda pakdi.
Pakada
is
pakadi is that only. It's
catch
just
and
being
release.
hunted.
That's actually really interesting insight, man. I didn't think about that. But so that's the thing, right? People say that before, back in the day, you didn't have text and books and writing as much as what people had was stories, right? So
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
used to give lessons through stories,
Yeah.
and that's how generations pass information to the next generation. This is what you should be careful of. This is what you should be okay with, etc.
Yeah.
It is through these games and stories and stuff that we actually learnt
So
to protect ourselves.
even African tribes, there would be one person assigned who would know all the stories
Yeah.
of the tribe,
That's their job.
of everything, and he was the repository. He was like a human library, and
Man, I
he would
feel
have
so
one
miserably.
person.
I have
Yeah.
such a bad memory, dude.
No, because for you there was that one guy.
Acha, okay,
like
okay.
he was selected for that.
He's
Yeah.
literally like that little mind palace that Sherlock.
Yeah,
Holmes
yeah,
has.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
got that thing like a
He's
little filing
he was
cabinet.
he was
Whatever you
Google.
Go up to him. It's like, अच्छा वो वाला file निकाला जरा. Tick, 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 tick.
He must be so तेरे को कल
Volume.
भी बोला यार. like
Volume नहीं बोला. Do you think he's like that one of those robots where like, hey, what's that story about pride? And then like, and it just, okay, wait one second. Once upon a time, and he just starts narrating. Like, I think that's what happened. Once upon a time, there was a man who, whatever.
Yeah. And that will happen in the very immediate future, where all of these stories are going to be watered down because you would want to numb the idea of emotions because you're plugging into the machine so much that they're just going to start creating bad, horrible stories. And then Jack and Jill, and then they fell, and then nothing. And then the next one, you swipe, and then there's something else. It's just like a drip of mediocrity fucking on your consciousness.
Dude, mediocrity runs the world, man. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
it does.
Mediocrity is the most important thing for this generation.
Yes.
For the world to run.
Yes, but it is able to do it well when there is higher something to achieve.
yeah, it's the
No,
it's
like-
the byproduct of excellence.
Yeah.
You have to do 100 mediocre things and then reach that one thing that now I'm happy with this.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
But if
I'm
the-
saying like if 100 is the universal set
Yeah.
of things and activities,
Hmm.
that mediocrity is 99% of all activity.
Like
Yeah, of course.
Right? And it's not even like many of them are on their way somewhere or they're
Yeah.
trying to aspire to do, but no, some of it is just like, this is my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it runs the world.
Yeah. People do crazy things to be in the part of that 1%.
No, I'm saying they're not
of-
even trying to get into the 1%.
No, they aren't.
Most mediocre people are happy being mediocre.
Yeah, but then
And
they-
it is an essential part of the world. Without mediocrity, exception cannot exist.
Yeah,
You know?
I understand that, but they also pine for, you know, excellence in ways, no, or uniqueness in ways. That's why they consume so much of movies and so many different stories, also, right? I mean,
Who?
people in general,
No, but then
you
I
know, the
think-
masses in general. If you're speaking about, you know,
I think when you're going for saying something like mediocrity and exception also, maybe you're forgetting the fact that that's just, you're judging mediocrity and exception by just one scale. Maybe a person is happy being mediocre in X.
yeah, of course, there are many.
But there is
different-
another thing that
I-
matters to them where they're like, I want to be the
Agreed.
1% in this.
I agree.
Like, and that could be as simple as I
Mediocrity
want to
is
be
like
top
mediocri-
1% of being a dad. It could
Right.
be even that.
Yeah,
You
it
know.
could be. You're right. But
Yeah.
mediocrity
So-
is like the small talk of life, in
Huh.
the sense that it is essential. You have to do it even if you hate it.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it, even the sun is great only during sunrise and sunset. Otherwise, it's like
Beautiful.
bench
Nice.
dhoop hai.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great
Yeah.
one.
Otherwise,
I'm
it is
fine.
Otherwise, it is dhoop.
Dhoop,
During the
dude.
day, it is dhoop.
Like
Yeah.
when you're in Alaska,
Yeah.
where there's no sunrise or sunset.
See, even there, he's failing a whole continent. Like, fuck you, man.
Yeah, there being no sunrise or sunset is almost like a freezer, na? Freezer बंद होता है तभी light बंद होता है अंदर का. That is what Alaska is.
It's a freezer.
It is a freezer, dude. जब भगवान को बर्फ चाहिए ग्लास के लिए तभी खोलता है वो 1 महीने के लिए फिर वापस बंद.
Noel and Gaurav dropping truth bombs left, right, and center.
Damn, actually that is quite a good note to wrap this up on. Huh?
Yeah.
धूप का भी बात किया है और
ठंडे का भी बात
किया है. You know, this is the yin and yang. That is the image we will put. You know, yin and yang का circle है ना, and the most peaceful screenshot of all three faces. Like just there was a moment in this entire episode where we all three
We
at the moment
tasted
just
nothingness.
we were just there. That's what we can start something on. Huh? This is a self-help new economical avenue, Kunal, that we
What are you
can look
talking
at. If this episode does end up working out and we
Yeah.
sell this whole Zen philosophy, you know,
To
we can
who?
start writing. If, in case,
To
you know,
whom?
Whoever's watching this,
Uh-huh.
they will watch this. This is not for personal
No,
viewing.
no, I
Kunal.
know. So what?
So
Continue?
if people do end up enjoying this episode and if this, you know, they end up talking about, damn dude, I did really end up tripping on that, we can start a whole new avenue of earning money. You know, write our own self-help reels. That's the next thing.
And that's how you went out of
It's
the moment.
not just,
Yeah.
It's not. It's please. I've seen bad self-help reels also.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do bad self-help reels.
It is incredibly
so
easy.
So many people who I know are doing bad self-help reels. I refuse to go into that space.
Yeah. No worries.
No
We'll
one's
edit.
pushing you to it.
I refuse, Gaurav, but please, you and Noel, please do it. I will
Self-help.
I will clap
Carry-
from behind. I'll cheer. I'll throw
Yeah.
money from behind. Like,
Yeah.
I'll fall from the
Like $5 just like $5 ka coins ऐसे
Ow!
hailstone of money.
Yeah. Paper was important to make it rain.
Yeah.
उसके बिना नहीं.
Yeah, you can't throw coins at a strip club. Can you imagine you blind a stripper, dude? That's the last thing you want. But yes, if you've enjoyed this episode, then do follow us, subscribe button dabao, press the like button, share it with your friends. Check out Kunal's Instagram account. Follow him on all social media thingies. He's touring. He is putting up his shows in different places. He is going to Coimbatore.
Yeah, on Saturday.
When will you be? Now, this Saturday?
Yeah. When is this coming out?
Oh, this is
This will come out on
on
Saturday.
Saturday.
So then I'm in Kochi on Sunday, and then next week I'm in Bangalore, and then the week after that I'm in Nagpur, Ahmedabad, Surat. Basically,
Wow.
He's touring.
He's
basically
touring.
kunalrao.com.
Oh, it's a kunalrao.com.
Of course.
Oh, superb, dude.
Go to
How
kunal.com.
surprised y'all are when I say a website.
No, very
name.
few people have that.
I know.
Yeah.
People are like, why would you have a website? It's 2022. Why would
No,
you do
you
that?
need to have a website.
No, you need to. We haven't come across many people who have because they dependence on
Almost
certain
everyone has.
platforms
Almost
for
everyone
tickets.
has. Yeah. No, of course you depend on Instagram more, but like a website is one of those things where like it's like if you have it, it's nobody cares, but if you don't have it, then people notice.
Oh, acha,
Oh,
acha.
okay.
You know,
All
like
right.
it's like how do you not have? How do I find you?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have a website? What?
Yeah.
But have you been to my website? No.
No.
You know, it's like that. So if you have it, then yeah, whatever. But if you don't have it, like what? You don't have a website? What?
It's like
Like,
digital
does this
real
podcast
estate.
have a website? What? You don't have a website?
Nah, we don't have a website. We have a YouTube page.
Yes.
Very sad.
Subscribe.
That's it. We have stopped with that Radical Measures podcast and kunalrao.com. That's it, peeps. Take care.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Ba-da-ba-ba-bam.